Well, E3 was this weekend and it's still going on, and I'll be honest, it's actually been pretty sick so far. If you want to watch the VOD, then spoiler alert, but we've had stuff like The Elder Scrolls 6, we've had Fallout 76, which we found out is going to be online only, which is interesting. We had Devil May Cry 5, and we had Battletoads? Is anyone in the comments section even heard of Battletoads? Like, never mind played it on the NES back like 20 years ago? We also cannot forget about Andrew WK coming out at complete random before the game Rage 2, and the crowd, we really don't deserve Andrew WK. But anyway, that's all very well and good, but I didn't really get to watch all that much of E3 so far on account of working on videos. So for most of the big announcements, I managed to miss them. But there was one that really hit me hard that I didn't even realize was a game that I really wanted. And that game was Jump Force. Now the trailer was Luffy, Naruto and Goku coming together to kick the hell out of Frieza, and it made me remember the prequel that I used to love that basically no one else I've ever met has even heard of. And how this is a game that I've been potentially waiting for like 12 years, and now I might actually explode if this game doesn't come out in the next 15 minutes, but I'm very, very scared of the potential release of this game because I'm very scared of it being incredibly subpar like so many other anime games I've played in the past. I've always had a bit of a weird relationship with anime tie-in games. They are incredibly expensive, usually with pretty lacking mechanics, and for the most part, they're just games that make you run through the story you've already seen at an incredibly boring pace. It's basically just kind of a scenic tour of what you've already experienced. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Eyes of Heaven was intensely mediocre in the combat mechanics, and the only good parts were using the special moves and making Joseph Joestar fight with himself, and just like the interactions between the characters, all of which you can watch on YouTube. It was not worth the £50 I paid for the damn thing. The one before that was One Piece Burning Blood, and I just thought it was so painfully mediocre that even though I like supporting these game companies that make anime games because I like the anime they're making games on, I ended up just refunding it because it was not worth the £50 that I spent on the damn thing. As far as anime games go, unless you're cheap or you're Danganronpa, I'm pretty much not interested in anything you have to give me. But Jump Force has a history behind it. A history that, if it lives up to my expectations, I will pay through the goddamn nose to play this game because it is the first time this series has had a release outside of Japan. So let's go back in time. Back to 2006, back to the days where I used to hang out all day at a bowling alley with my friends playing Dance Dance Revolution all day. Yeah, I was that kind of loser. But yeah, we used to play Pokemon, all that stuff on our DS's in between, you know, waiting to play songs on DDR, and I was pretty casually into anime at this point. I really liked One Piece, Naruto, Death Note, all that kind of stuff, and my friend decided to show me a game that would turn out to be my favorite game on the DS. This game was Jump Ultimate Stars. This was the Smash Brothers of anime, and it was incredible. You had so many Shonen Jump characters that you could choose from, a bunch of JoJo's, Dio, the Straw Hat Pirates, the Dragon Ball Fighters, a lot of the Soul Society captains from Bleach, Gon, Killua, and Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter, Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star, plenty of Naruto characters, most of the main cast from Yu Yu Hakusho like Kurama, Yusuke, and even Hiei, even characters like L and Light from Death Note made an appearance. There were so many characters there in at least one form or another. Maybe they were playable characters that you could fight with, or support characters that did effects during fights. It was just all in this awesome Smash Brothers format where it was all 2D, and you could fight on the page of a manga, and you know, maybe there was a goal to collect coins off of other players, or collect Dragon Balls by fighting the enemy, or just smashing an enemy through the boundaries of a manga page which you could break down. There was this story mode as well that I'm not gonna lie, I didn't understand because it was all in Japanese, that you could unlock new panels for this manga. And basically there was this deck system wherein by doing the story mode and doing all these things, you unlocked panels that you could put into, it was kind of like an inventory system, but it was a manga panel, and You could make your own squad, and each panel of manga was like different in some way, which meant that you could have like the big ones were like the playable characters, and the bigger the panel was, the stronger the character was, which left you less space to put other playable characters in case that one got killed. And some gave you like extra health or attack damage on whoever they were next to, or some of them were just like support ones. Like you could have a Goku one that when you touch it on the touchpad, he would summon Goku and he would use a Kamehameha and then disappear. And there was just so much to it. Like, I am really trying to go quickly here through all the features that this game had, and like the complexity of the deck building and the manga and shit, and it was just crazy, dude. This was like a nuts, and it was very confusing to me because it was all in Japanese, and as such, there was like these kind of like achievements you could do for every single story. So if you didn't die once, you would unlock one thing. If you defeated everybody within 30 seconds, you would unlock another. I'm assuming that's what it was though, because I didn't speak Japanese and I had to guess what they all were, but it was it was really, really fun, and guessing what the hell I was meant to do was all part of the challenge. But still, since the game series has never had and probably never will have a Western release with those games, beyond like ROM hacks that have English translations, there are so many like anime fans that I know would love this game, or at least back in the day. Maybe it's kind of like aged a little bit poorly, but there's so many anime fans that I think this would be like the perfect thing for. This was honestly one of the most interesting takes on a brawler game that I'd seen. I mean, that was back when like Melee was out. Like I think the Wii version of Super Smash Bros. Was out as well. Like there was all-star battle games, and I thought this one was fantastic. It was like the first like handheld brawler game. I'm pretty sure it had multiplayer as well, but I didn't know anybody that had the game because I borrowed it off my friend to play the damn thing. It was so interesting, and I feel like so many people that like would have enjoyed it were completely missing out on it, and it's all because there was no Western release, probably because licensing was really, really hard to get all the characters licensed for English-speaking countries, and I can understand that. But honestly, like seriously, if you have a DS lying around somewhere still, or I think maybe the 3DS can play older Nintendo DS games, I'm not 100% sure, I would seriously urge you, if you can, track down a copy of this game before Jump Force is released, because it is fantastic. But I've spent a lot of time talking about the prequel of this game rather than the game itself. Well, the fact of the matter is that, to me, this game has an awful lot to live up to, and I'm really excited, but I'm not entirely convinced just yet. The game looks very much to be just another 3D fighter game, kind of similar to like One Piece Burning Blood or JoJo's Eyes of Heavens that I spoke about earlier, and those two are really slow paced and just lacking in excitement. I would have loved for a 2D brawler like Smash Brothers or like the old Jump Ultimate Stars, but we've been given another 3D one. Now, don't get me wrong, from the gameplay trailer, the graphics look phenomenal. Like, the characters look so good. The best presentation I've seen in a video game of these characters so far, apart from maybe like Dragon Ball FighterZ with Goku, but I guess like in this one he's a little bit more darker. But 3D fighter games are difficult to work with. I want a brawler game that I can play with all my friends, and one that I can prioritize multiplayer with, and 3D fighters just like, they ain't too great for stuff like that. I don't really know. Like right now, the fighting looks a little bit sluggish, a little bit janky in Jump Force, and with every anime game. Right now it seems to just stand as a buyable reference machine. Like most like One Piece games, the gameplay tends to be pretty meh. There's a couple good ones, but for the most part, you kind of just keep playing so that you can play out some of the more iconic parts of the storyline. And that's really it. You're just there to take a tour of the things you've already seen. But with games like Dragon Ball FighterZ, an anime game that actually has pretty tight mechanics and is fun to play, alongside having all the flair and all the self-referential pandering to the hardcore anime fans that you could want. I just hope games like Dragon Ball FighterZ has like set a good standard for 3D fighting games, or just fighting games in general. You don't have to be an anime fan to enjoy Dragon Ball FighterZ, and I think that is the way it should be. If Jump Force is good enough a fighting game, or just good enough a game in general, that is perfect. It should stand on its own mechanics wise, and I would really appreciate if it wasn't just a sightseeing tour of like all these references. Like, guys, do you remember when Goku asked people to lend him his energy? His squirt bomb? Do you remember that one? Please buy our game, by the way. I don't know, I'm still gonna buy it. I just don't really know what else to say. After all of these years, waiting for a game I didn't even know I wanted. I just don't want this to be another Berserk Band of the Hawk moment where I'm just like blown away by the presentation of the game, but the gameplay just feels repetitive and clanky as shit. Still though, let me know what you think of Jump Force down below, and just know that if this is a bad game, Japan, I will destroy you. All of you. I will destroy the entire nation of Japan. I'm sorry, it has to be done. Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching this video. This was like not one of the main videos I was planning on doing. I know I said I'd make videos about anime. Wasn't planning on doing this, but Jump Force, I have a history with this game series, so I thought it needed to be done. I hope that maybe you guys are interested in the game now a little bit more now that you've heard about where it came from. And if you did like this video, if you want to jump on the sock drawer wagon, feel free to subscribe. And if you did enjoy this, feel free to drop a like as well, guys. Take care. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Goodbye.